Hi, I'm Ron Fontaine at the offices of FireSteel.com. It's April 29th, 2010. I'm here in the Great North Woods of northern New Hampshire getting in next winter's firewood supply. Now, FireSteel.com understands fire. We burn wood as our major heating source all winter long, in fact pretty much all year round in this cold climate. And we're always on the forefront of fire-making technology. I'd like to introduce our new and improved FireSteel tubes. These FireSteel tubes come in a variety of sizes. This happens to be the deluxe model, and it comes with a built-in compass, a good length of parachute cord, and of course the famous FireSteel.com FireSteels. This is our smallest model. It's the pup FireSteel tube, and it takes a 3/20th of an inch diameter FireSteel. To use it, you simply unscrew the FireSteel from the tube and use one of our excellent FireSteel.com FireSteel scrapers. Now, these scrapers are specially designed to maximize the amount of sparks you get from a FireSteel, and especially a FireSteel.com FireSteel. To make a fire, you simply scrape your FireSteel hard and fast, and I'll show you how to do that later on in this video. The next size FireSteel tube is our FireSteel Tube Ranger. As you can see, the Ranger and the larger FireSteel tubes also come with a built-in compass. The Ranger has a 14mm high-quality liquid-filled compass that comes in handy for when you want quick fixes on direction. A lot of people like to wear them around their neck just so they can tell which way is north or south, whichever direction they're heading. Keeping that in mind, it makes it a lot easier for you to find your way back to your vehicle or back home when you want to go back, rather than get lost and spend a night in the wilderness like many people choose to do. To use the Ranger FireSteel tube, you simply unscrew the cap from the protective tube, which reveals your 1/4 inch diameter Ranger FireSteel. Now, a great feature about these larger FireSteel tubes is that the cap screws back into the tube itself so that you have a really good handle. Again, to use it to make a fire, you simply scrape your FireSteel hard and fast, which will produce a shower of sparks that will ignite your tinder. The next size FireSteel, the next larger one, is the FireSteel Armageddon FireSteel tube. Again, it has a compass, but this time it's much larger. It's a 20mm liquid-filled compass. And by the way, all these compasses glow in the dark, which is a really good feature. Again, to use your Armageddon FireSteel tube, you simply unscrew it, screw the cap back in to the tube to make one heck of a handle, and scrape. It's that easy. We also offer a similar tube that we call the bunker. It's an inch longer, and the FireSteel itself is a full 1/2 inch thick. Now, this is a big, monstrous FireSteel. Enough fires for probably tens of thousands of fires. I don't know for sure. I've never worn one out. Again, it's got the compass and a nice tube. By the way, you can put tinder. I like to wrap fine steel wool around these FireSteels and insert them into the protective tube. I'll show you that in a later part of this video. Fine steel wool burns at thousands of degrees Fahrenheit. Once a spark hits it, makes excellent tinder. Now, the epitome of the FireSteel.com FireSteel tube technology is what we call the deluxe FireSteel tube. Again, it has a 20mm high-quality liquid-filled compass that glows in the dark, and some additional features. Now, to use this is a little special. you unscrew the cap to reveal the FireSteel, and here you can see the fine steel wool that I've wrapped around the FireSteel, as I told you earlier, and we'll use that in a minute to start a fire. This reveals a 3/8 inch diameter Armageddon FireSteel. Also, on these deluxe models, we have a special tinder compartment where you can store tinder to help you light your fire. In this case, I've put in a cotton ball soaked in petroleum jelly, which is easy to remove. And this FireSteel tube has a built-in FireSteel scraper that goes into the same compartment. Using this deluxe FireSteel tube is a little different than using the others, because what you do is you take the cap that the scraper is attached to and screw that back in to the compartment like this. Again, you have a really good handle. To use, again, you simply scrape your FireSteel hard and fast to make a shower of sparks that'll start your fire. In addition to these features, you may have noticed the 3 larger FireSteel tube types come with 550 mil-spec paracord that can come in handy in a variety of ways. It has 7 or 8 strands, that each of which can be pulled out and used for fishing line, shelter building, even sutures or dental floss if need be. It's really good to have, and depending upon the size of the tube, there's between 12 and 15 feet of this military spec 550 paracord wrapped around it, and just a really good thing to have, and it makes for a really good, solid, well gripped handle in addition to its other functions as cord. Starting a fire with a FireSteel.com FireSteel is actually quite easy, especially if you've thought to bring along some tinder with you. In this case, I'm going to use some of the fine steel wool that I've wrapped around this deluxe model FireSteel. I'll also be using cotton ball soaked in petroleum jelly that I've stored inside the tinder compartment of this deluxe model FireSteel tube. Let's start with the cotton ball soaked in petroleum jelly. The first thing I want to do is try to fluff it up a bit using my gloved hands in this cold weather. It's not as easy, but it certainly can be done. Next, I'll take the built-in FireSteel scraper and screw it back into its compartment so that I have a really good handle. And then next, I simply just scrape the FireSteel hard and fast to produce a shower of sparks onto my tinder. And there we go. We have a fire. Now you may have seen my first few tries, the sparks missed, but with a little practice you could usually get it down 1 or 2 strokes. Next, I'll use my fine steel wool. Again, I'm going to want to fluff it up a little bit in order to more easily receive the sparks from the FireSteel. And I'll place it a little bit behind. Oops, it's already trying to catch on fire. A little bit behind the cotton ball soaked in petroleum jelly. And there we go. Now that's lit on fire also. Now, this steel wool will burn at thousands of degrees Fahrenheit, which should give you ample opportunity to catch even stubborn wood on fire. And there you have it. Steel wool does burn.